Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to this week's episode of the Sofamanager Scottish Football Podcast. And on this week's episode, we're going to have a more kind of discursive style, a bit more chilled, a bit more relaxed. So this week we're going to talk a little bit about football tourism. We went a wee trip to Murrayfield recently to see Aberdeen play Hearts. Not the usual teams we'd go out and see, but we kind of fancied it for a special experience. John went to Newcastle to see Stoke. He's a big fan of them, and I'm sure Darren's been to a few Barcelona games in his team. So
yeah.
we're going to kind of discuss the different aspects of that, see what we think, and of course Cologne fans raiding Arsenal over the past couple of weeks. So lots to discuss there. And leading on from that, we're going to have a bit of a European football themed episode this week, and we're going to be discussing all things European football. So some Serie A, Bundesliga, and also the Barclays Premier League. No, not the Barclays Premier League, just the Premier League. Sozzles, all the banks.
Get it right.
So I have to go through them all now and say,
I'll have the lawyer on to you there.
I know. Alongside me this week as my usual co-host, Banker John.
Just Banker John?
John Banks. Could be like a new John Wick film, but he's like a banker assassin.
John Banks. Jeff Banks.
Jeff Banks. Who's Jeff Banks?
The
Jeff
suits.
Banks, yeah.
Suits.
Yeah.
Never heard of Jeff Banks.
Jeff Banks the suits. He doesn't wear suits.
No.
He doesn't wear suits.
You
No,
wear
you
suits.
don't know you.
Is he in
Jeff
the?
Banks.
Is he in the program?
Oh, Jeff Banks is the suits. He makes suits.
Well, he
He's
makes suits.
Yeah, it's like Hugo Boss.
All right. I thought you said he was.
Not suits the programme.
I said he was in the program. So
Aye.
like, if he's in the program, suits, I know who he is.
He's like a lesser Ralph Lauren.
Oh dear. Anyway, alongside him is the hoodie wearing Darren.
Hello, Paul.
And you're not in a suit. Anyway,
No, I'm not.
let's crack on with this week's episode. So, first things first. Football turismo. Turismo, or what's the Spanish word, Dan?
Tourism.
Tourism? That was a very good accent, actually.
Easy money.
So we went along to see Aberdeen play Hearts at Murrayfield recently. Of course, the Hearts stadium's still being worked on. Ironically, you can see it from the top of the stand at Murrayfield. You see where they were going to be played. 24,000 people there. Incredible atmosphere. How was your day?
Pretty good.
Yeah. Enjoyed it.
There you go.
Great!
That is it, guys.
Man,
No, I
you
enjoyed it.
guys must be really good at descriptive essays at school, I tell you.
Smashed it.
So, I mean, you know, Aberdeen, a team I've supported. You know, I went to university up in Aberdeen, went to see them a lot of them, was born in Aberdeen, so I have quite a big affiliation with the team, know a few of the chants and stuff like that. But I was amazed at how much John here got into the game, often referring to the team as we. And I was like, oh, this is a very personal experience. He's,
I just didn't want to get thrown out.
I don't think you would have noticed. But yeah, you seem to get right into it, John.
It was a good day out, actually. It was nice to actually experience that atmosphere at a Scottish game.
Yeah, of course, we kind of used to go into Falkirk on week in, week out, where 5 people might chant for 30 seconds every
Normally
4
abusive
games.
as well. Like.
Aye. So no, atmosphere was fantastic, much better than I think a home game for Aberdeen. You know, at Pittodrie, a lot of chanting going on. We were in the upper tier. I kind of saw the pictures of the lower tier.
That would have been scenes if they had scored. Like,
The thing is, you never get tickets to that like atmospheric bit you want to be in.
no, it was okay where we were, but
Oh, yeah.
you're to get really on top of it. Like,
But I remember like when you went to Hertha Berlin last year.
mm-hmm.
Podcast available now on Mixcloud, by the way. If I've got around to it. One of our most popular episodes, actually. You were like just behind all the atmospheric, like raucous bunch.
I just up the kind of it's a 2-tiered the Olympic Stadium. So the kind of I forget the actual name of the Hertha Ultras, but they're kind of on the curve, Ost curve. That's the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
East curve. If you're not very good at German, so I sat just above that.
That's all of us.
Speak a little bit of German. That was good. That was a really good day out as well. First time I'd actually drank beer at a football game in the stadium, which was just
I did
unbelievably
like that.
weird. Really weird to think you could actually just go whenever you wanted.
I
Just
know.
buy a pint.
Well, that's one thing, I guess. The biggest thing about football tourism is just experience, especially if you're going in different countries.
Yeah.
Just the different kind of atmospheres, the different kind of footballing culture. And of course, the biggest thing, even in this country, in like England and stuff like that, is you can drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And we can't. I think that affects the atmosphere quite
can.
a lot.
You
Or it
can
affects
do.
the match day experience quite a lot.
I mean, Falkirk recently just opened up their new South Stand bar. Well,
It's not the same though, is it?
it holds 90 people. You have to buy a ticket before you go. you have to be a season ticket holder to actually get the ticket, and you have to buy it in advance, like weeks in advance. Because if you wait till game day, there'll be nothing left.
Yeah. Oh, the WKDs will still be at the bar, John. The WKDs will still be there.
That's all he wants.
John loves the
Like Jamie Vardy.
Every week at the Black Bull. WKD, let's get it done. He doesn't care, he's John.
It's blue.
There's got to be a chant in that.
I'll be forever blue.
Aye. But, why are we not able to drink in Scotland? I mean, I know it's an old firm thing, but like, come on, just release it for like the Championship, League 1, League 2.
Just know it won't end well though. Like,
I guess for some people you just can't trust them, can you?
yeah, and our culture versus even the German culture is completely different as well in terms of drinking. I mean, that's the game kicked off at 3:30 German time.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the stadium about 1:30 just for the atmosphere, and it was like you could buy beer. So on the street, you could drink in the street. There's guys coming up with like their own kind of carry out,
Yeah.
just standing outside the gates having a few tins, and then they were going in. There was any amount of beer tent you wanted. The really cool thing about the Olympic Stadium is you can walk all the way around it, so you can like see
right,
all
okay.
the old kind of 1938 Olympics.
Oh, that sounds good. Yeah.
The swimming pool, the diving pool, the Myfield.
Mm-hmm.
You can't quite go on the Myfield, but there's people playing rugby on it. Really weird. And then all the kind of historic stuff. But you know, you could like have a pint while you were walking around and doing all of the history and stuff.
That's lovely.
It's absolutely magnificent.
I do sort of relate drinking beer and things to like Germany.
Yeah,
like, so
but it was all
that
very.
kind of links for me, you know.
Wunderbar.
It was all
Beer
relaxed.
fest and that. You know?
Yeah.
There was Hamburg they were playing. They were all kind of mixing. There was a bit for their hardcore fans that were kind of kept separate.
Right.
But there was a good couple of thousand, just kind of your average Hamburg fan who would mingle with your Hertha fan, having a couple of pints, just enjoying the day out.
Do they get to drink at Spanish games then?
You can, but it's not as big a thing.
Yeah, I didn't think it would be
Yeah.
as big. They're too healthy in Spain.
It's only certain places, so
That'd be great. A wee Corona. Is Corona Mexican actually?
That's Mexican.
I think that's Mexican, yeah.
Oh, it's
Estrella's usually the one I
no,
take.
in Real Madrid it only be Estrella.
San
Estrella.
Miguel or something.
Ah, yeah. I was thinking they only serve that there.
Estrella's the beer of rebels.
It's nice to have a wee Spanish beer every now and then. Actually, I've not had one of them in a while.
Yeah.
So I know I envy that. It'd be nice just to have a wee pint, will you?
It would probably make the product in the park a little bit better as well.
Yeah, it would help during the bad times. Maybe the straight vodkas would actually be easier. I don't know. That's probably Spartak Moscow's tactic for their football matches.
Probably just stay in the bar anyway. You're local.
So it's nice to kind of get out, see different culture. Do you think it's just nice to get out and see a different team for a change as well?
And again, I think so.
I think it is, yeah.
If you're up for it though, like
Yeah.
I don't like. I'm a football tourist myself because I've done it. I've went to Berlin, I've gone to Newcastle a lot, but I absolutely detest the people that go and they sit with their iPhone out and like
Snapchat it, Instagram it. I know.
Yeah,
Hideous people.
sit and take videos of the goal rather than celebrate the goal.
Follow the Sofamanager Instagram page.
Oh, drives me nuts. That really gets up my nose. I hate watching Real Madrid and Barcelona in particular. You know, like it was the Apoel Real Madrid game at the Bernabeu
Right.
a couple of weeks ago, right?
Aye.
Ronaldo scored a really quite good goal. Nobody celebrated.
Yeah,
Absolutely
because they all had
nobody.
their phones out.
Oh, Ronaldo scored, right, where's my phone? Right. Nah, they should be kicked out immediately.
Yeah. You got to live in the moment.
Aye, enjoy it. Like, watch the highlights.
I've never known John as a live in the moment kind of guy.
No,
Yeah, I mean,
that drives me nuts.
I remember like one thing I did in the summer was like my life's dream of going to the Le Mans 24-hour motor race in France, and the people next to me were these like absolutely loaded off their face like tourist people, you know, who just turned up for 5 minutes to see the start of the race and walked off. And yeah, they're taking pictures of it, not really looking at things. I'm there in tears, not believing that I'm there, and these idiots are sitting next to you and you're like, I don't understand.
It's when they break out the iPads.
Oh yeah, that's when you get
Often they're just really
angry.
fat as well, and you're having to scrunch your shoulders. And like football stadiums, Murrayfield especially, I've never had as little shoulder room in my life as I did at this game. And it's like, it's just,
uncomfortable.
We should get the VIP seats. We're the hardcore fans.
but we're technically like media, so
Oh my
Joke of the day.
dear hearts, Sofamanager is coming to your club this week. You've probably heard of us. Just give us the passes.
it's like, when's the press conference?
Hello there, John Brown, Sofamanager, Craig Levine, Estrella, or San Miguel. What's your choice there? Yeah. If anyone would like to offer us some press passes, we'll come along. We'll cover your game.
Do that.
For anybody,
Aye, Shire, give us a shout.
Amateur, professional, we'll do anything. We're easy that way.
If you say so yourself.
Well, no, professionals only for me, thank you. Psychologists, of course. But we're way off topic. I have no idea where we were. Yeah, terrible, hideous people with lots and lots of money.
Yes. Broadly speaking, I don't like them.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, you know, the games we want to go to, like, you know, I guess an El Clasico might be one for you, Dan. But I guess
definitely.
the chances of that are pretty slim.
It's
you know.
hard, yeah. I think
You could
the
go,
biggest problem.
yeah.
What was that, John?
You could go, but it would cost you an absolute fortune.
Oh, aye.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if you're coming from outside Spain, it is going to cost you an arm and a leg. Yeah, it's still well in Spain, but at least obviously they can pick up the tickets easier there.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you say, it is really hard. And the thing is, all the fans come out for their games, so it's not going to be that you're going to have seats for like the tourists or anybody coming from other countries like you do against, like, say, Valencia or like your sort of Levantes or whatever. But yeah, as you say, you'd love to be there or whatever, but it's difficult. And then if you do want to go, it's going to be an arm and a leg to actually go.
The thing is, I just find it crazy that you can love these teams.
Yeah.
You know, so much. Like, you know, I'm a big Paris Saint-Germain myself. Fan myself, sorry. And it's, you know, you might just never get a chance to go to these games, despite, and that's what I always think about, you know, say American football. Is so many people are huge American football fans, they might never go to the Super Bowl. You know, I thought it kind of just crazy to me.
I mean, you take that American football example as well, and the thing that really gets me about that is, say you are like an LA Rams fan, just moved to the city.
Oh dear.
Now they're playing, I think they're playing a game in London this year. They certainly did last year.
Yes,
Right? How annoyed would you be if you had just bought a season ticket for the Rams to only find out your game's been moved 11,000 miles away to be played in another country?
Oh, I did see the other night, the Aviva Rugby Union Premiership had a game in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Rugby!
It was Newcastle versus Saracens.
Saracens.
So I was reading about this thinking, what the hell went to that? Like,
I reckon maybe about 4,000 or 5,000 people went.
maybe in
All
a
of them
dog,
expats. Absolutely all of them
easy.
expats. I found that utterly bizarre.
It's really strange. I don't mind cross-border competition, but like we talk about rugby as well, but they're introducing 2 South African teams to the Pro 14.
Oh, aye.
So it's now, I think they're in the Edinburgh and Glasgow division. I don't understand rugby in the first, but
They're not going to be playing in South Africa, are they?
yeah, it's good.
Sugar.
But I mean, that means, like, I think they are anyway, because that means the South African team every other week is now going to be travelling to the UK.
Well, they might as well
In France?
They might as well just base themselves. Oh, you can't really do that, can you?
No.
I think
But-
Argentina were going to do that for the Six Nations, going to base themselves in like Spain.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which was who would go with that? You know.
Well, not very many, but
So what do we think of those kind of like the franchising games? Like there was rumours about for a while that Dundee were going to play Celtic in America.
they want to play in Philadelphia as well, I'm sure.
Right.
But Dundee's owners are American,
Yes, that was.
so that would have made sense. Again, if you were a Dundee or a Celtic season ticket holder, how would you feel about that? Like, I would be pretty miffed.
As long as they covered the costs.
Well, the way Falkirk are playing now, I'd be quite happy if they moved abroad.
we were well, you Falkirk had that kind of fly away in Sligo recently.
They did, aye.
And that was just highly annoying for all involved.
Pretty much. If I'd been
well
Dublin,
done to the dedicated people that went.
if I'd been Dublin, I would have went, but to get to Sligo was a bit of a nightmare.
Hmm.
So the logistics comes into that. But
So what do you think's more interesting, like a trip to Sligo Rovers, or like, you know, a friendly of like Hearts versus Barcelona at Murrayfield? You know,
depends on your interest.
if you're a footballing hipster.
I'll be a bit.
See, it's
He says with his backboard wearing cap and
that's quintessential. But see, I think that's now backward facing caps like retro hipster. It's like, you know,
it's,
Yeah,
it's
that's
going,
true.
it's going bald hipster. That's
well. Oh dear, text in now. We're starting a fund.
give me Wayne Rooney's hair transplant guy.
I think I'll be losing more hair at this rate. I think it's always interesting to see these really random grounds, and just to see everyday footballing life somewhere else. I mean, again, when you went to Germany, you went to some random German.
I went to like a
third
5th division regional game.
Mm-hmm.
I was bored on the Friday night.
And a lot of people would find that more interesting. I think. Well, again, we did a bit of footballing as a tourism to Dublin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
that's
weren't. I totally forgot about that. But
Yeah.
we weren't Celtic fans. You're a big Barcelona fan, but that was great.
watching that the International Champions Cup, which was actually quite a good experience, just to see how it kind of works,
Yeah,
and to watch effectively 40,000 Celtic fans get really drunk and have a party.
pretty much. We were loving it. We are the boys in green.
That was quite good fun just to enjoy it.
Yeah,
I was doing my Barca stuff, so it was great.
Well, I think they won that day, didn't they? So,
Yeah.
but I thought you were a big hater of that competition, John.
I don't like it, but that day it was quite good.
It was great.
I think it was because it was Dublin.
that
and
days it's allowed.
the Dublin thing was a good trip.
As long as it's in like a reasonable place instead of like a China or a...
Yeah, I mean, because Celtic, like,
They've
it's
got that
Dublin.
connection.
Yeah. If I had been played in, I don't know, Donetsk or somewhere in Eastern Europe.
Like the kind of the European Super Cup is these days.
Aye, it's
Yeah.
getting played somewhere random. Or the UEFA Cup's getting played in Kiev. The UEFA Cup final. Or European Cup final.
Ukraine.
I'm sure it's in Kiev.
Are they not still
It's a strange
at
one.
war?
Yeah. Because Shakhtar are playing in...
They've not played for like a year and a half at
At
their
their own
own
stadium.
stadium or something.
Oh, they were playing in Kharkiv.
Is that a Russian place?
No, Kharkiv's in Ukraine, I'm sure.
Oh, is
It was something like that. Because it was like...
Because I know it's like Metalist.
Medvedev Kharkiv. I'm sure that's where Shakhtar were playing their Champions League games.
Mhm.
I think they're playing all their games, yeah.
Right.
You're thinking, oh, that's really weird. Why would you do that?
What I don't understand is, like, say, like, if Chelsea got them in the Champions League, why, like, so many fans bother going out to these away ties? Because that must be so expensive.
Man, quite scary, you know?
Well, why? Well, we think of the World Cup is going to take place in Russia.
Fancy that at all.
I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't want to go to that.
You just know that's the one you're going to qualify for. That or Qatar, because it's a dry country.
Qatar would be a disaster. Honestly, Peely Wally.
More likely Qatar.
So these Scotland fans looking for a pint and you just can't drink in Qatar.
That's the great thing, though. Like looking back, like France '98. We referred to Darren as Dario G in the last episode. That song for the French Cup has a whole section in it with bagpipes.
Yeah.
Flipping fantastic. And I was like, I'm thinking to myself, that's never going to happen again. Never.
Probably not.
We're not going to be part of a World Cup song in anyway. So that's a bit of an aside.
Hi, that's kind of going on a different topic. That's like, would you go to a European tournament if you weren't a Scotland fan? But say you were like went for the Republic of Ireland in France 2016, would you have done that? Or
Well, I know that, I'm sure
a good few folk done that.
We'll see I think there was a World Cup in America in
94.
94. And I think England didn't qualify.
No, it was only the Republic that
Well,
qualified.
Republic did, and I think a lot of people just went and supported the Republic.
Every chance.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, why not? I mean, I don't know if people would be
I mean,
happy
maybe,
or unhappy with that.
I'd maybe do it if it was like if I wanted to experience the tournament. So like
Aye.
it was in France, so that's pretty close there. So maybe if I fancied going to experience the tournament and like say it was like Northern Ireland or something like that, you go to the game because they fans were outstanding.
Yeah,
that
it was
year at
cracking
Euro.
just for the atmosphere.
So it'd be great to go to that and then just experience it. And then another side of it, I suppose, is if you don't think you're going to go there with your country and you want to experience, then you might want to go.
it's
To, like Scotland wins the next time we're going to have a World Cup.
Well,
so,
that's
you
it.
know.
It's the kind of anyone but England
Yeah.
theory comes into it.
And then it's as you say, you wouldn't want to go to Russia, you wouldn't want to go to
I
Qatar.
don't know.
So like you're waiting a long time, and then once you come back round to a
Yeah.
tournament that you'd want to go to, maybe Scotland's not going to be at that either.
I know.
So
Because the
and it's a
Euros,
4-year cycle.
I
So.
know.
Euro 2020 is not being held in a single country.
Oh, they're doing it
It's all over the place, but there's going to be games at Hampden. But I don't know if Scotland automatically get the games at Hampden. They might. I don't know how it really works, but then the Euro 2024 hasn't been announced yet, and I'm fairly confident Germany is one of the countries that are after it.
Well, they
Because
did
it was
the
a big
World Cup
fallout.
2006, which is kind of fairly recent.
But there was a big fallout
Then
between
France did the...
was it Borussia Mönchengladbach and Düsseldorf.
Right,
They chose Düsseldorf over Mönchengladbach as one of the host stadiums,
right.
Alright.
and Borussia are absolutely raging.
Because they don't get the investment to
Yeah, because like,
get their stadium up to scratch.
pretty much, which is already a really nice stadium, but they weren't one of the host cities, and they're really annoyed.
Well, I know that some of the stadiums they picked in France were like Ligue 2 teams and stuff like
Yeah.
that, who just have these roasting stadiums. Even Marseille now have this big massive stadium they can't really fill on a kind of weekly basis. It'd be interesting to see what that kind of tournament atmosphere was like.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to see.
I think it depends on the country.
I find it strange because you're kind of zooming about these different places, aren't you? And there must be an element of kind of randomness to it because you don't know where your team's going to be
Where
playing.
you're going to be,
and,
yeah.
Well, you can obviously plan out the group stages, but beyond that, it's a bit of a lottery, isn't it?
A little bit.
And how many Russians are going to stamp you in the head as well? So,
Yeah, it comes back to the football tourism topic. Is like, I don't know if I would do it. Even if it had been Brazil, I don't know if I would.
Brazil's too far for us.
You would have
For
done
us,
like,
it's, to be honest, I would have liked to have done Brazil,
you
but
would
it's
have
so
baked
far
yourself-
away.
I would have gone to
It's,
Japan. Oh, that would have been amazing.
you've got to think for Japan though.
Korea, Japan. I love Japan. I wouldn't Korea. Well, it's not going to be in Korea anytime soon, I don't think. Probably not Japan either. But
Probably quite cheap, but
what if you launch over in a missile?
if you say so.
Yeah, see, but I guess that's a different sort of element of football tourism I hadn't considered.
And on an international stage,
See, the thing is, if we ever qualified, we'd just have to go. We'd
Yeah.
have to try and go. But then everyone else would have that same thought as well.
you would probably see the whole of Scotland just empty.
Probably. But mind Iceland. You know, they were
pretty much, yeah.
filling stadiums with like 30,000 folk. There was
Like a third of the
40,000 population. Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh man, that was good times though, wasn't it? You know,
Aye.
amongst your fellow compatriots.
That's it.
So we've 7,000 Aberdeen fans at Murrayfield. Yeah, pretty good.
If we're going to bring it back to the actual question.
Well, yeah, we're kind of going round, but the away fans, it just seems to be a growing thing. I think it kind of dipped, it's kind of coming back a bit.
Well, I was thinking about that sort of yesterday. There was something like nearly 3,000 Stoke fans. Well, when I say that, that was actually 2 weeks ago now because we were recording a week early.
Shut up, no. Keep the illusion alive.
There was like 3,000 Stoke fans at Newcastle, and you're thinking, like, Spain maybe doesn't have the away culture, away fan culture. And I was like, well, is it only England that have that? Scotland has it, but then
Unless you're playing Stranraer.
yeah, but then like England have it real. That's like a real. That's a culture.
The thing about England is it's a relatively compact nation.
Yeah.
You know,
The
France,
thing I was,
Spain,
yeah, the
Germany.
thing I was about to say, Spain. It just depends, like where they
You're
are.
in the geography.
I think if you're in mainland Spain, the fans do travel, and you always get a few fans that still travel to like the Canaries and the Balearic Islands. But if it is a big sort of away day, well, it depends what team it is. But if it is really far away, then they probably won't.
You'll not get as many.
But it's what Paul says. Like I was just about to say that, like it does. You have to consider the size of the country and bringing in distance, so on.
I mean, because the only one I could really think of was a close example was Germany, and the away fans that they kind of take.
It's just it's a whole different thing there, though, isn't it?
Public
Yeah,
transport's absolutely phenomenal.
different sort of cultures and things too. I
Um,
suppose.
the-
It's a
go for it.
religion, you know, more
Yeah.
than.
Because Italy, I don't think do.
They don't care. They don't turn up to the home games.
No,
Like, hello.
their kind of fan culture in general is a bit weird. I think they're still living in the
But
90s.
see, it's like sometimes you look at some games and it's nuts. There's like flares going off everywhere. The atmosphere's good, but then even then, like the whole Inter Milan AC Milan derby now that it's on at like 11 in the morning.
It's just for tourists as well, though.
Well, exactly. You know, it's not that raucous.
It's not. It's killed the atmosphere because it's overhyped. Well, not overhyped, but people want to go for the atmosphere,
Yeah,
to experience the atmosphere, but then they saturate it.
yeah.
So there's now too many tourists and not enough
And they don't get
sort of
it.
local nuts.
I think quite a lot of people usually turn up to Juventus games. I think they're the only consistent sort of attendances.
And but I'm quite surprised that if you take the AC Milan, Inter Milan, sort of, it's one of the best derbies in the world. But then the Old Firm derby is one of the best derbies in the world, and they still manage to sort of, generally speaking, all the tickets end up locally.
Yes.
And when I say locally, I mean Scotland and a wee bit of Ireland.
Yeah, but the Old Firm derby,
I'm amazed that hasn't kind of clicked on as well for your kind of generalised football tourist to try
See, I
and
mean,
go to the Old Firm derby.
I know for you like desperately want to go to like some of the South American ones.
I would not just for like a general experience because again it's a completely different
Yeah.
culture. But I think if they found out you were foreign, I think they would take too well to it. It's very much
Yeah.
you have to be from that area.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
I don't know. I guess the Rangers Celtic one.
But that's a really curious one as to why other derbies in the world, big derbies, are such an appeal. And the Old Firm does have an appeal, but the tickets always still end up in the hands of reasonably local guys, or
Well, that's the easiest places to sell them, though, isn't it? Really.
pretty much. But you can buy your tickets online. I mean, second hand.
Celtic and Rangers will have how many season ticket holders?
Well, that as well. But you would still expect the same scenario to occur.
I see what you mean, yeah.
I mean, it's quite widely known. I mean, I remember when we went to America. It's like, oh, where are you from? Scotland. Oh, do you have the Rangers and the Celtics? And they at the time they were a much bigger deal, than they probably are now. So yeah, I don't know.
But it's a curious one.
That's a good question.
I think it is it's quite difficult to get tickets for them, so that maybe puts some people off.
Even if you take like the Champions League games, I mean, I gave the Real Madrid example. The sort of everyone with the phone out with Ronaldo's goal.
Yeah.
Again, it's all like guys
you'll get that in Spain, especially the big
guys,
teams. So like
guys want to go and see that, but again, they're seeing world star players.
Plus the size of the stadium, you'll always get that.
With the systems we now have in place, and this is a problem we ran into getting the Aberdeen tickets. With like loyalty points and like
you're going to be a member or that kind of stuff.
It's becoming harder and harder to just rock up to the stadium and be like, especially for big teams that are selling out their stadium week on week.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite difficult.
Aye, but I mean, I can get Newcastle tickets sort of reasonably comfortably now. But I'm a Newcastle member, and I pay money for that, pay for the privilege. And I suppose Celtic do it as well. They sell the kind of batch of season tickets, but surely other clubs in Europe do the same thing, and yet you'll still see maybe sort of non-local fans showing up to their game. It's just a curious one.
The thing is, if you don't need to sell them internationally, why would you?
Exactly. But I mean, again, you can probably generate a wee bit more money.
But then the fans, when they take too kindly to it.
Your local fans, but if folk are willing to pay for it, generally speaking, people will charge it. It's just supply and demand.
If you're going to a city, like if you fly in for a Paris game, if you fly in for a Roma game, a Barcelona game, a Madrid game, maybe Munich not so much, but
I mean, so the PSG were charging say €130 for a ticket. Was it last season in Champions League?
Quite possibly.
Can't remember who they were playing. Now your average Parisian can't afford €130 for a ticket. So
the kind of audience they're looking to attract now.
They would, but your local fan, average Parisian, cannot afford €130 for a ticket for a football game. That's just absurd.
That's how it is.
Yeah,
football.
You'll always have somebody that will go and pay that money.
Yeah,
and that is a cause of football tourism because people will just pay. It doesn't really matter where you're from. If you're interested in going to the game, you're going to pay for it.
Fair point, well made, I think. I would. That's the first thing that's come out of John's mouth. I would agree with solidly.
Loads of money to be made.
Just like thank you.
Shocked into silence. But I guess. So you did go to the Newcastle Stoke game a couple of weeks ago. How was it?
Really good. Absolutely crying atmosphere.
Yeah.
Really, they were up for it. Newcastle fans are absolutely brilliant. And again, it's a local fan base. And me and my dad.
You're relatively local.
Well, it's like the closest English team. Apart from... it will be the closest English team to Scotland.
Carlisle.
Maybe Carlisle. Falkirk, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's about 2 hours both ways.
Aye. Well, we know which one you'd probably rather go to. Although apparently the match day experience at Carlisle is excellent as well.
I have heard that, yeah.
Maybe both for Bash. But like Newcastle, I mean, that's me following.
Eddie Stobart driver or something.
What mates?
That's the lorries.
Well, no, it's Eddie Stobart that used to sponsor them. I don't know anymore.
Is it?
Yeah. Rory Loy and Lee Miller used to be star strikers there.
Oh joy! You have them back if they want. But no, I mean, that's good 5 or 6 seasons I've been going to watch Newcastle. Home and away now as well.
And finally, they're back in the Premier League as well.
Hallelujah!
Doing quite well.
I mean, it's a cracking atmosphere, reasonably priced as well for what you watch. I mean, it was £30 for the ticket to go and watch them play Stoke, and it was £30 to watch Aberdeen Hearts.
Yeah,
you can compare and contrast as to what you would rather pay £30 to go and watch.
That's your economies of scale coming in, isn't it? If you've got 50,000 people paying £30, they're trying to milk as much money out of 24, and that's only 24 for that one game.
Yeah.
Given the argument, if you're charging £20 for a ticket, and then you reduce it to 15, you need 4 people to make up your loss. Considering the amount of people that are going to come through the door, people will do that. Clubs will do that. And I think for the Premier League in general, for most clubs, I think maybe Arsenal apart, charge a reasonable price for their product. I mean, you're going to watch real top quality football, and a lot of them now do. Again, coming back to the away day culture, that there's an agreement between the clubs. So say Newcastle have an agreement with West Brom to charge a maximum of £20 a ticket for West Brom's away fans, and they'll get it vice versa. Because when I went down to watch Newcastle play Southampton, I paid a £5.
Really?
Oh, that's what it cost me again. Maybe we'll beat Hump like 4-0. It only cost me a £5.
Yeah, that's true.
I had to pay for my flights, my hotel to go down to the South Coast, but
still, you're making up that money.
the ticket itself was a
English
£5.
Riviera, it's
It's actually that's not too bad.
that's quite
That's
It was
okay
actually
in
alright.
Southampton.
Very
Yeah.
industrial, but it was quite nice.
I've been there. Yeah.
Oh, you look good for like cruises.
Yeah.
You not hop on a boat after? No.
Nah, escape.
On a wee cruise and come back.
From us selling the channel, maybe. But
Well, that's something that Aberdeen have done up here with Motherwell, because they play each other kind of back to back, or have played each other back to back.
they'll be in the process.
So great games. Good ticket arrangement for those games.
Aye, decent travelling support there.
No, that first one.
Like, well,
Second one was a bit better.
ref is a bit ropey. Like,
Refs and see refs in Scotland. I hate referees in Scottish football. I think they're terrible.
but Motherwell were down to 9 men. What are you talking about?
Aberdeen were at 5. That was 5 sides.
To abandon the game.
Well, but I think that's a great idea. You know, make it easier for everyone, because it's a big effort to travel. You know, away. So Premier League's actually quite competitive this year, isn't it?
Really is. I'm quite surprised. I didn't expect Man United to do quite as well as they were. Man City, they're playing a lot like what Barcelona were. I know we spoke last week about PSG looking like a Barcelona-esque team. Man City, their attack is just phenomenal.
I don't think they'll keep it up. They
I
never
don't know.
do.
I
don't
think
know.
they will.
Like,
No, I think they will. I think this is the year they will.
They've got a decent squad about them now. I don't rate Kyle Walker at fullback. I think he's a bit nit, but
They just come to a point where it just looks like they lack motivation in the season at some point. And
No, that's true.
this has happened and this hasn't happened, because obviously there was the year they won the league, and you know that time has to come again. But you know,
I don't know if they've got one eye. I mean, it comes back to PSG as well, I suppose. But there's now that pressure, not just to win your domestic league, but to win the Champions League. You know, only one team can win it, and you're looking at maybe 8 teams at the moment, where their manager and the team are expected to win it.
yes,
And you're thinking, well, you know, somebody's going to lose. Like,
it's so difficult.
and it's impossible to predict. And you kind of feel for the guy who maybe like gets to the final and loses, because it's like, I know I get so far kind of journey, especially if it's like, say it's Man City PSG in the final. There's 2 teams that their owners are fully expecting a win, regardless of how much money they spend. They want to win that.
Demand it to a certain extent.
And if you lose, do you lose your job at the same time? Do you lose your credibility? Like,
I think for a team like Man City, their target would be to aim for like the league this year and then Champions League the following year. But don't get me wrong, I see where you're coming from. Their expectation is that you win the Champions League and you win the league. We've just spent all these millions bringing in these players. That is the expectation. You go and win that. And then that's how it becomes harder and harder for these managers too, I suppose, to keep their jobs, because they're getting given these jobs and these players, and they need to get a trophy or 2 trophies or whatever with the team that they've got. And if they don't, then basically it's like, there's the door, that's you sacked, and then they're away trying to find a new club. But yeah, the expectations is obviously it's crazy compared to what it used to be.
Phenomenal. And again, apart from maybe the Premier League apart, most teams are they're guaranteed to win their domestic league. PSG effectively guaranteed to win
Pretty much.
La Liga. It'll be one off Barcelona and Real Madrid. Bayern Munich should win the German Bundesliga.
Juventus will probably win.
Juventus will absolutely cruise through Serie A. I have no doubt about that. Like, Inter and so on have had a decent run. But
yeah, I mean, it's when they come to kind of face each other. You kind of talk about the strength of different leagues. You know, like in some seasons we've just had German dominance. The English kind of had a spell. Spain's obviously always been one of the big ones. France has kind of never been there. Apart from that, I think Monaco had a good spell in the kind of late 90s, and then same with last season as well. But yeah, when you get to that last 16, anything can happen.
Pretty much, and it's always, generally speaking, it's going to be the same 16 sides that get there.
So there's always a few surprise knockouts, though.
There's always a few, yeah.
1 or 2, but broadly speaking,
Well,
it's
like
the same.
Monaco kicking out Man City. I guess Leicester got through. Who did Chelsea get knocked out by?
Chelsea won in it last season.
Chelsea, they weren't it. They had Leicester in place in it.
So I remember Leicester, kind of Seville, they got knocked out by Atletico, which was kind of to be expected.
You had Tottenham. but they were out.
Tottenham were rubbish.
Wait, the group stages.
The English teams didn't do as well last year. Well, last few years or
The
something.
English teams were awful.
Tottenham,
Arsenal will beat off Sunday.
Tottenham, I think are quite an interesting one because I think they need to start kicking on. They need some sort of title here to kind of, because they've been building that team for years and years and years, and it's at its like crescendo.
It's a very good 11. The bench is not. They've not got the squad depth.
Not got the squad compared to like a Man City or Man United.
That's exactly it, and I think that's why you'll see City and Man United and to an extent Chelsea further ahead than what you'll see Tottenham.
So you don't even consider Liverpool or Arsenal?
Nah.
I wouldn't. To
be honest, I would be surprised if Klopp's still in his job by January. I think there's a lot of frustration growing between.
If it keeps on going the way it is.
Aye,
Yeah.
Have a swap deal for him and Rodgers again?
I think Klopp would end up back in Germany.
Oh, aye, wouldn't
Yeah,
he
he could get a job in Germany pretty easy.
I Bayern Munich eventually.
Well, I think the
Klopp
rumour
out
is Ancelotti's going to take the money in China come kind of January time.
Yeah, and like I say, I don't think there's been a few kind of rumblings, and I can understand why he hasn't done as much as you would hope. But then again, the competition is so fierce that it's difficult for Liverpool to break in. But there's issues there.
But Liverpool have spent a lot of money. And I think
Yeah.
they've actually been quite clever this season, picking up some of the top younger players from the other big sides.
Oh, aye, I mean,
Solanke seems to be pretty good. I feel like there's another one whose name escapes me.
the biggest business that Liverpool did was keeping hold of Coutinho and Firmino and Mane. If Mane hadn't
Mane
got,
is a huge one.
Mane's a big one.
if Mane hadn't got injured last season, I could have moved for mega bucks this season. They never recruited enough defensively. I think that's still an issue, and I think that's where the kind of gripe lies.
And that's
with
that's
Jurgen
always
Klopp,
been their
like-
issue, and they've never really sort of
Aye.
fixed that issue, have they?
It's
So.
no Slavan. The centre half.
Lovren
No. It's not Graban.
at Liverpool.
Aye. Kind of Eastern European lad.
Christ, I have no idea.
Chat amongst yourselves.
Just Masip and
Challenge yourselves. I mean,
That's
This guy's horrendous.
if you take Liverpool out of it and then you look at Arsenal as well,
yeah,
you're like, what a waste of money Lacazette looks.
yeah.
I'm really
Well, they
disappointed
spent
in
a lot
him.
of money on him, and they had been thinking about it all these years, and I think it kind of came around that, oh well, we've talked about it all these years to bring him in, so we're going to bring him in now. But
Clavan.
Van. Okay.
Klavan, right, yeah.
We're moving on from there. Sorry.
For all the listeners that were like, oh,
Who is that person?
well, actually, no, different. They're probably screaming at us, going, "You idiots! How on earth do you not know who this guy is? He's in the first team every other week."
Aye. So what's your take on Arsenal then?
I don't like him.
Good take, right? So
Sit on
Everyone.
the fence, why don't you?
Well, no, it's got a bad smell. Everyone wants out of there. Like right now, Chamberlain managed to jump ship. Sanchez clearly wants to jump ship.
yeah.
Ozil probably wants to jump ship. There's a lot of contracts running out there, and they could, I think, recluse towards being a kind of top 10 side if they don't sort this out. I mean, they've not really attracted Lacazette, but Lacazette was desperate to go to Atletico Madrid and couldn't because
They're banned.
transfer ban. So, no one's actively seeking out.
Aye, Arsenal's not an attractive position right now if you're a top player. You'd rather go elsewhere.
They picked up a few random free agents and stuff like that. Like I think
Yeah.
Xhaka was a really strange one last year, and
The El Neni they signed.
aye,
And then
He's not looked good. I've not been impressed.
And then Klasnic
Klasnic looked
which is a
better.
good signing, but at the same time, that's what they're looking at now. They're looking at free agents because they're not in the top.
Yeah.
Well, they're not in Champions League, and then they're not in the top four by the way.
You look at their mainstays like Ramsey, Walcott, kind of Wilshire's. They're just not top class players. They're
No.
nearly there.
They should have been good players, but they got injured far too often early in their career and it got completely stagnated. My biggest concern with Arsenal at the moment is that Arsene Wenger seems to be living in the past, in the terms that he's not picked up the way the transfer market is at the moment. Arsenal have silly money, but in his mind it's like, well, I'm not going to spend £50 million
He wants
on
a
a
good deal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Wenger's never been one to go and spend money.
And I think that's why Fergie got out at the time he did at Man United, because even he wouldn't have been prepared to spend £90-100 million on Pogba. In my opinion, I don't think he would have done that.
But he was daft enough to treat Pogba the way he did in the first place.
Maybe, but you never know what happens behind the scenes.
He, I think, made a lot of mistakes towards the end of his reign, and there was a lot of really bad signings that actually put that team in quite a bad way when he left.
Maybe, but he still won the league.
He would have had it in his head.
Yeah,
that,
he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I'm saying.
He knew.
He seen where this was gone.
Aye.
Absolutely. Other managers are less conscious about the money.
But then Man United have now made themselves an attractive proposition.
Oh, aye.
They managed to get themselves a Champions League place last year when they didn't deserve it according to their domestic success.
Mourinho is of the mind, though, that he knows he has to spend £90, £100 million on 2 or 3 top class players.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't care where the money comes from. I think Fergie did, and I think Arsene Wenger's the same.
Mm-hmm.
He's conscious of the fact that this guy 5 or 6 years ago was nowhere near £60 million.
I would be
That's why they
interested.
resisted buying Lacazette.
I'd be interested to know now what the shirt sales are like between someone like Man City and Arsenal. You know, Arsenal, an established team for years and years. Like, say 10 years ago, right? How many Man City kits would they have sold?
Like next to none.
Next to none. How many Arsenal kits would they have sold?
A lot.
Loads. What's the tables like that? And this is why these Eastern, Middle Eastern, people are investing so much money, because it's a big business. You know, a name like Man City it's gold for sponsors, for tourism, for whatever. And the same with PSG or AC Milan, Inter Milan.
Yeah, and then they expand it to like other clubs too, so like New York City, so on.
Yeah,
it's all franchised.
Yeah.
Red Bull.
Yeah,
Red Bull's a good son.
So Arsenal do need to get their finger out.
Pretty much.
But then who do you bring in to replace Wenger?
Good question.
And when? If ever.
1 or 2 seasons ago, I think. He's living on past glories.
Because the one was Eddie Howe at Bournemouth.
Again, it's not inspiring.
They've struggled at the start of this season. It's a good young team, I think they're a bit more limited in the budget there than they might be elsewhere.
Yeah,
as much as you can be in the Premier League, I suppose.
The good manager for the English game, but for a club like Arsenal who would be looking to be in the European level, would he be the manager that would take them to that level? That's the question. Yeah.
What probably sounds daft is Frank de Boer probably would have been a better choice for Arsenal than he would be for Crystal Palace, him being sacked after just 4 games. His style of football would have suited the calibre of player that Arsenal hold.
Aye.
And it wouldn't have suited. It didn't suit Crystal Palace, who were just a bunch of Sam Allardyce hammer throwers, really. If you want to rationalise it.
There's nothing wrong with that, that can win you games.
Yeah.
But,
certain managers suit certain styles, certain nations. I actually thought Pep Guardiola would have struggled. He's proved me wrong a wee bit.
He struggled to begin with, but he's brought in his team now. I feel like this season he's got the team that he's been wanting since the beginning.
That's exactly it. I would agree.
You will not get a lot of time at Man City. That was shown by Mancini. That was shown by Pellegrini.
Yeah. He needs to, basically, in my head anyway, he needs to win the Premier League or he needs to win the Champions League this year. If he doesn't, then that's when they start questioning, is this the right manager for us?
Well, that's what happened to the likes of Mancini and Pellegrini. It was like, no trophy, bye.
Yeah. Well, it's a curious one. The Premier League's really interesting. I would agree with them when they say it's like the best league in the world. So it really is just exciting. Quality is lacking on occasion, but
it's exciting in a different way because it's just so well covered, I think, compared to other leagues. And it also,
here anyway.
Well, I think across the world, actually, I think the Premier League's probably better
I
covered
think it is.
than most.
Yeah, it's got good coverage.
Because you look in America, all the bars and stuff like that. Yeah, they'll watch an El Clasico game, but most of the time it would be the Premier League that they'd be showing.
English speaking as well, so it's
it's kind of easier to market and stuff that way. So I think that's why there's so much interest.
I mean, I think you're right about the Americans really picking up on the Premier League. I think the Asians, Southeast Asia, picks up a lot on Serie A.
Well, because of the Chinese. But remember when Celtic had Shuniseki Nakamura? That was a huge boom for Celtic.
In Japan, and they did not sign China's captain, Chaduri, who was actually, and that should have been a huge boost.
No. Chaduri was Korean. They signed a boy called Zheng Ji, who was Chinese, aye.
And they had Ki Sung Young,
yes,
he was South Korean as well.
Yeah, they were trying to do that with him too.
So, they've had that. He's kind of disappeared actually when you think about it.
I was looking. He was going to be one of the ones I was putting in last week's FIFA quiz, and I was like, "Is he still at Swansea? I think he moved, did he?"
I think he's still there actually, or maybe he's went out on loan. He's still at Swansea, I'm sure, but he's maybe out.
What do you make of Renato Sanchez, by the way?
Signing.
Really?
Oh,
He's not been playing.
Good signing, but he's not really.
I think
He's not got the players around him to show what he's made of. Because he's definitely like he's been signed to sort of push Swansea up a level, but I don't think he's got the sort of quality
Skill,
to do
talent,
that. Yeah, basically,
Are
because he
you-
has been giving the ball away a lot.
Are you Odegaard in disguise? That's a big problem for young players.
Mhm.
Giving the ball away, because that's what Rogers was saying about the boy Ralston the other week. They were saying, "Oh, how well did he play?" He was like, he was alright. He gave the ball away a bit too much.
Mhm.
But then I guess that's the thing about experienced players. You can Mark Kerr at Falkirk keeps the ball all the time. Anyway, I'm getting off track.
a little bit. That was a really bad tangent.
I know.
Flashbacks.
In other words, Swansea suck. They are bad.
They'll be in there for the kind of relegation battle, but I think they'll still be okay.
Really? So
Yeah.
who's going down?
West Ham, Bournemouth, and Crystal Palace.
I really don't want.
I don't think West Ham will go down.
half my flipping fantasy team's Bournemouth because they did so well last season. I went for most of the defence and the goalkeeper because I thought Begovic, cracking keeper.
I think Brighton.
Flipping Boric.
I think Brighton will be lucky to stay up.
I've been Huddersfield as well.
I think they'll stay up actually if they keep on going the way they are.
They've started with a lot of hype. You wonder when that hype's going to run out,
Yeah.
and they start.
It's
to,
if they're at a high enough level until end of the season.
yeah. There's not a Sunderland candidate this season. I don't think that's just going to be utterly.
Oh no, West Ham and Crystal Palace. The two of them are
You think West Ham?
horrific. Yeah, I think Bilic has not got much longer to
I
go.
think Crystal Palace will be going down if they keep on going the way they are.
Palace have got Man United and Chelsea in the next two games after just playing Man City. So that's a real struggle.
Yeah, that's true.
John's looked through his crystal ball, listeners. Aye. So where are your beloved Newcastle finishing?
Top 10.
You're an idiot.
The revolution has begun.
Absolute idiot.
14th.
Telling you, man.
They sat fourth as of last weekend, right? And your point in our notes here was like, how far up are we going to finish? Who have the first few games been against? Stoke,
We've played Stoke.
Huddersfield, West Ham. They got beat by Huddersfield.
We'll be off Tottenham in the first game.
Played Tottenham.
I was there for that actually.
No, you were.
That
I
was a
didn't
good.
really talk about that for tourism much.
That was quite a good
We're
game.
too late now, John. Stay on topic. They played Stoke, Swansea, and West Ham. Right, are they great teams?
No, but they're the kind of team you would expect to be mid-table, and we've beaten them all.
But they're not mid-table. They're at the bottom of the table.
Well, they should be mid-table.
All right.
That's the point I'm getting.
All
at.
right. Okay.
It should be mid-table.
Stoke in particular was the level you would expect Newcastle to kind of be competing against, and we beat them.
Stoke have done a Newcastle and made a lot of duff signings
Aye,
that are like distinctly average players.
Hesse was anonymous.
Hesse is a rubbish footballer.
Aye.
And it's, do you know what?
So is Joselu, but yeah, like,
But that's the thing, right? Hesse, PSG reject, Real Madrid reject, Las Palmas or whoever he was on.
Yeah, it was at Las
reject.
Palmas.
Now he's at Stoke. Josello, Stoke reject, now at Newcastle. You know,
it's bigger.
He was at Osasuna too, and they got relegated.
Didn't be telling things like that.
what discussions do these people have? Oh, right, this Hesse guy didn't really pan out at PSG. Didn't really pan out anywhere. I think I see something here.
There's a rough gem that's needing polished.
I'm sorry. In the Premier League, when you have that much money,
They can take the risk though.
my thing is though, I still don't think the Premier League's that attractive to other European players. The really big European players don't come to the Premier League
No, I mean,
unless they're here from an early stage, like your De Bruyne, who was brought up here. Or
it's a curious one actually, because I always look back at that Suarez deal that took him from Liverpool to Barcelona. Now,
Barcelona.
I mean, but Liverpool had finished second that season. They could have won the Premier League if it hadn't been for a certain slip. And they were into the Champions League the following season. But Suarez still wanted to move. He wanted to get away from England.
But you look at the big players in Europe, for example, Khedira went from Real to Juventus.
Yeah.
A few people did the same to Bayern Munich. I think they got from the Barcelona, Thiago.
Yeah, Thiago.
Costa.
Then we've got Kroos moving from Bayern across, Matuidi going from PSG to Juventus.
James Rodriguez. To
James
Bayern Munich.
to Bayern Munich. And we don't see anyone from those teams coming to Chelsea, Arsenal, Man United, Man City, really.
Yeah, you see a few, but the big names I know where you're coming from.
World class players all move away. Ronaldo moved away. Gareth Bale moved away. If you look further back, Michael Owen moved. Beckham all moved. mean,
oh my.
they were what you would class as, like, in England, they were world class players,
That's true.
and they still moved to what they thought was a bigger club
Yes.
in Real Madrid in Spain. And it's happened all the time. Is that Gary Lineker moved to Barcelona, you've had Gascoigne move to Lazio,
And then Rangers.
and then Rangers.
Yeah.
You know, that, I don't know if it's maybe they just see it as a different challenge. You know, they've done well in the Premier
I
League.
think
they
we
want
all
to
know
come
the
to Spain.
ultimate move is to Real Madrid or Barcelona. I think
I mean, that's ultimate stardom.
Yes.
And I think that's why Neymar moved.
Neymar.
Neymar.
Neymar!
Barca Neymar.
Junior Ralston.
Oh, Celtic fans, that's what you should be saying. Oh dear.
But he moved to Spain rather than go to England for all the money that England have. And then again, when he was about to move again, he moved to PSG rather than.
I guess we look at the
Did he have
Brazilian
Man
boy
United?
at Man City, Jesus. You know, that was kind of one of the bigger ones that they managed to attract. I guess purely just with sheer cash.
He's coming from South America, isn't he?
Yes. But
That's
you know, that was a kind of Neymar-esque.
It was, yeah.
You know, he was. I don't know if he was as big a talent. I'm not sure.
Probably in South America, yeah.
Yeah.
Aye.
So I guess they were able to attract, and that's what they try and get them in young to kind of never bring them through. They're always out on loan. They then sell them, and they're like, "Oh, you turned out all right. We'll buy you back for a hideous amount of money."
Yeah.
See Lukaku. You know, Lukaku's been bounced about like a rag doll.
He's done well at every club he's been in.
I know.
Like,
But like, why? Chelsea are now left by Morata, who seems to be like,
he looks a wee bit out of water, fish out of water.
huh?
He's not got many people playing around him though. He's better if he's got a striker. So.
Real Madrid were having a laugh there. They saw he was.
Tell you, they're missing him.
'cause
Because that's
stick with Benzema.
Well, yeah, well, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, even he was a bit cautious in the move to Arsenal.
Who?
Benzema.
Oh no.
And like Lacazette was really resistant to a move to
Oh,
Arsenal.
it took him ages to. But surely no one would have been interested in him. Like,
Well, the rumour was that Arsenal were trying to get Lacazette for ages.
well, why?
That's
So-
been in the pipeline for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Now, quite why didn't they hang about Lyon for another year and then move to, it was Atletico Madrid they wanted to go.
He's getting on now. You know, he's not the youngster he once was.
Aye, but
Well,
He'll
he was a good
eventually
place. He'll be on a good money.
oh, aye, he'll be on crazy money. Arsenal needed a big signing.
But then you need to watch, because if you've got the likes of PSG with strikers outscoring you there, because Cavani is just going to score goals in that team. He might not be the world's greatest striker. I'm one of his biggest critics, but you know.
Cavani's a lot like Benzema in the fact he's got two world class sort of wingers
Yeah.
and who will put in about 30-40 chances.
That's the thing is, Cavani's not a finisher, but he's a brilliant like headerer of the ball, and like just like the power finishes he's really good at. As we saw from that sensational header against Celtic.
Oh, aye.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best headed goals you'll see all season.
He does get the goals though. How many was it last season? About 49 or something.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
But you can see when Ibrahimovic left PSG.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, because there's like, nah, boom, like spiking. And yeah, he's still ticking away at Man United, unbelievably. I guess that's another player they managed to attract to the Premier League. But he's done everything now.
Pretty much.
Apart from
Yeah, that was
Bundesliga.
he wanted to tick that box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think the Bundesliga has that attraction quite yet. It's a very good league to watch.
It's a big fan base, but the players kind of rotate within the league.
Pretty much.
And they pick up some interesting players. Like they picked up Conor Playanka a few years ago, who was quite an interesting player at the time. He's not really survived that well there.
Right, Kalou playing for Hertha Berlin, which I still find really strange.
A few decent players out there.
Hernandez, who was playing for Bayer Leverkusen, was an interesting sign. He did quite well there.
He was a cult hero out there.
Nah, he's struggling for West Ham, so it's you see the level.
But of course, like Leipzig, that Keita boy is going to come to Liverpool for like 70 million next year. Or something.
Yeah.
Come move for Timo Werner.
He's now an internationalist.
Like, absolutely roasting.
He is good, yeah.
One of the top scorers. Him and Lewandowski are kind of chasing the golden boot.
So, but
Whatever that is in German.
does he go to Bayern? I mean,
Yes, that's almost inevitable. Like,
but how much do Bayern have to pay Leipzig? Because Leipzig is a money no object
they're so money.
side, essentially.
be a curious one. But there's every chance he would move to Bayern Munich. You would maybe see Lewandowski come at the end of his career back to Dortmund or move to England, Man United.
I think there was rumours linking Lewandowski to Real Madrid too, actually.
Be cool to say,
When-
They
actually.
are due
when they
for a striker of some kind.
Benzema out and then he would come in to replace him.
I would like that. That'd be good.
It would be good.
Just saying.
Make that happen, John.
There's my phone our phones of that. Right?
Oh man. Anyway, John, do we have some predictions for this week at all?
We do, yep. So following on from last week's,
Oh, I know, I was so good last week.
It's like-
Absolutely awesome.
all the results are available on the Sofamanager website.
They are. In lovely format.
It's looking good.
Are you still keeping that updated with the articles, John?
I do. I have. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for the following week. I might just do a kind of generalised European where I'd like to go.
I'm glad we're having this thought process on air.
Brainstorming.
That's a nice idea. You could put together like package holidays.
Yeah, I could actually buy them.
What, buy them?
Football tourist packages. While we're on the subject, yeah, you can buy like if you want to go and watch the Ajax Feyenoord derby on the Saturday and then Dortmund Schalke on the Sunday.
Okay, so you put together a
It's
really
a big package and all the flights and hotels and
I
stuff.
did hear that.
Which I thought was quite cool. I'm very jealous that somebody got that idea. So anyway,
Yes.
back to our domestic rubbish.
Predictions.
We'll start off with the bigger
Just had
games.
the chat about like the biggest players in the biggest leagues.
Sorry, we'll start myself.
Cowden Beath versus.
It's not that dramatic. It's Arbroath versus Alloa was the first one.
Oh my goodness.
Why do you pick these? I don't know. Alloa away.
Yes.
So Alloa to win 2-0. I have no idea how good Arbroath are, to be honest.
Yeah, I'll go for 2-1 Alloa.
I'm going to go for 2-0 Arbroath.
Oh.
Just to be different.
Caught me out.
Because I have no idea. On to more crucial games, we've got Green at Morton versus Falkirk.
You always say Green at Morton.
I've done it again.
So I'll put that green up. Right. I'll go for 2-1 Falkirk.
You are a brave fool.
What a fool believes.
Great win last week, John. So,
well.
No, I can guarantee you now. I can guarantee you. There's no one.
I'm going to go for 3-0 Morton.
Yeah, 2-0 Morton. I'd be amazed.
Next one's Dunfermline Dundee United at Easton Park. That's a really tough game actually.
I'm going to say Dunfermline 1-0.
1-0.
Not taking into account the form of last week's game.
You mean 2 weeks ago or last week?
Last week. 'Cause I don't know what it was.
I'll go for 2-2 in that one.
2-2. I'm going to go for 3-0 Dunfermline.
What?
Yep, telling you. Right, next up Aberdeen St Johnstone.
Sacrilege.
Aberdeen St Johnstone. Oh, easy win for St Johnstone.
That could be.
I think I'll go for 1-1 in this game actually.
That's a fair shout actually.
2-1 Aberdeen. I think this could be that.
Should just win that in the morning.
Get them out of their slump.
I'm going to go for 1-0
Of course
Aberdeen.
they'll have won 7-0 last week. You go for 1-1, sorry.
1-0 Aberdeen. And last up is Celtic versus Hibs.
Celtic Hibs. Oh, is that Celtic? Yeah.
Yes.
3-0.
I'll go for 2-0.
2-0. I'm going to go for 0-1.
You're mad.
0-1.
You're actually mad.
I have said on this podcast at some point, I'm sure Hibs will be the first team to beat Celtic.
Right.
I'm telling you, and it'll happen this week.
Joey, really funny, Dan.
If it did happen, I get 5
if
points.
they get beat, who they playing? What would have been?
It's the Old Firm game.
Okay, so if
Oh,
Rangers
right,
beat them.
Aberdeen.
This is going to be the funniest memorial you've ever come across in your life. And this will be played to all the bosses across the land. That's for sure. Oh well, I guess that rounds us off nicely.
Indeed.
So thank you very much for joining me on this late evening, guys. So thanks for listening from me, Paul.
Thanks for listening, everyone. From Darren.
Ciao.
Ciao for now.
Ciao for now. Like send you a snapshot. Yeah, you did. Yeah. Don't know why I did that. That's later on.
You should have had something horrendous on it, like like someone shooting a deer in the head.
Bambi.
Aye. That's getting left in.
It's my venison burger.
I hate meat. I told you about that. I told you about that sushi place, didn't I?
Aye.
Sumo.
Aye. Was it? Aye, it was good.
I went for dinner with a mate on Friday after school,
Mm.
and she was like, "Let's go for sushi." I'm like, "Oh, I want like a dirty burger."
Yeah.
And sushi's like the polar opposite of it. So
Totally.
we went to that place, Sumo, in Falkirk, next to Behind the Wall.
Oh, aye.
Really nice.
Was it nice?
Really, really nice. It was dead, but can't complain. She took the tip off them. Like, she took the change.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah, she
right.
literally like clawed it back and then gave me my half of my get, and I was like, because I said to her like, we don't need to change, do we? And like she didn't hear what I said,
Ah, right.
so she got to give me the change. I was like, you not like, leave that as a tip, and she's like, oh.
I'm curious as to why you didn't pay the whole thing yourself.
I'm not made up for anyone. Stuff like that. Good morning, good afternoon. No. I might leave that out at the tail of this actually, because that's quite funny.